Hello, everyone.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. What's going on? How was the session so far? Guys, are enjoying?
Yes, sir, we're enjoying the course.
All right, all right. Good to see happy faces here. So I think so one so far session seems good. Anybody from here would like to highlight anything that you guys learned so far, or anything that you want to add up? Or the today's objective is to make sure that you guys will be going to the right track. Um, so this is the time now to select your career choice, whether you are going to data analytics or data science or data engineering. But there is no strict uh, kind of pathways for you to be in future. I mean, you can choose anything at the now, and then future you can always mold yourself to other part of the career. However, um, like there are something I think Suvan already should have mentioned about the career tracks that you can use it to make sure that you are in the right career path. Okay, so. Um, 1 sec. Let me put my charger on. And meantime, like if you have any questions about your like career choice, confusion, anything, any confusion regarding your choice of career, or any confusion regarding um, the next coming classes and so on, you can ask us. We'll be happy to help. So, have you guys? Is there anyone who is yet to decide which career pathway to take? Did you guys fill in the form already? Did you submit your interest already?
And no, I don't think we have given them the form yet. After today's session, we will be providing them the forms.
Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. So then I think, yeah, if you don't have any questions, we can wrap it up, but we can make it short and sweet, but just to make sure that you guys have any confusion, we are just here to help. But just to let you know, I think I can add up a few things in terms of career perspectives. If you are yet to decide, I can highlight some of the career prospect in the market right now. Um, right? So, which career to take in? So, my rule of thumb is if you are basically from engineering background or IT background and you love a little bit of coding, I mean, it's not something that we love coding, it's something coding is something you find interesting when you start solving a problem. Like until then, coding is just coding. I mean, nobody loves at the beginning. So, but over the time, if you like over the session, the foundation, I think you tried out Python, you tried out SQL, and you were amazed by how Python and SQL were solving a problem. That's interesting. I think I suggest you to go towards kind of a engineering or science. Um, but on the top of that, um, how to choose engineering versus data science. Um, Now, if you have kind of a or if you enjoy installing Docker containers, like have you already have tried out something kind of a Dockers, you already have tried out something like installing MySQL or some kind of databases on your laptop, or you enjoy doing kind of installation of the tools, trying out, maybe what might you have done? Something you love using Linux. So kind of there are some few signals that shows us that that person might go towards engineering. And still the data science is more of like with more definitely AI sounds interesting. It looks interesting. It's a hot topic, demanding topic in the market right now. However, it's very tricky, a little bit tricky to enter to the market in data science world. Just to let you know, it's a bit easier to enter to market in the to land the job. Data engineering, you'll see more of the job vacancies in the market compared to data science. So usually in a company, they can have 10 data engineers to make sure that the pipelines is ready, data warehouse is ready, and everything is ready. And in corporate world. But some of the IT companies who are more focused into AI or data science, they have more data scientists for sure, and they might have lesser data analytics or data engineering people. But however, in general, if we look for the vacancies and all, engineering is we see much in top line. And in the global world, we see all data analytics is also in the same line. We see a lot of data analytics jobs and so on. But Nepal, if we look back to the Nepal perspective, I see there are less data analytics roles in the market, or less data science kinds of role, but data engineering is much, or data science is much. I mean, there are a few like well, right? So, but data analytics, when you choose data analytics, is if you are not fan of coding. But however, if I'm saying not fan of coding, it doesn't mean you should not be coding. In data analytics, if you are, I mean, interesting. The thing is, if you are a fully stack by nature, this is what every company loves you. I mean, you want like companies, let's say, for example, there is a startup. They want to hire a resource. Okay. Even us, like if you have to hire a resource internally, we want at least a person to be expert in something and they know here and there. For example, if you can build data pipelines, you can talk about data engineering, you can create you can write Python, you can write SQL, as well as you have some interesting analytical mind, like can tell the story and can tell about how the data, you can create the dashboards, you can create charts, and you can present interestingly the underlying patterns of the data. We want, ideally company wants fully stack, right? They love fully stack. In some of the larger corporate world, like I used to work with IBM before, and I can say that the experience was there will be a very big team, like the data engineering, data science, data analytics, business analyst, product owner, business and BAs, POs. I mean, there are hundreds of people, or there are 5 to 10 different roles around: project manager, scrum master, like cyber security, the networks, and data governance. And we had several roles that time. Like I just remember back then, the team were so specialized in certain areas, and they had to work specialized areas. They didn't get much of exposure though, but they were special or expertise in certain areas. But this is only for certain like large scale corporate worlds, But with the standard small startup kind of a business, if they are just ramping up, because there are several companies that they don't have data culture yet, they don't have data platforms yet. Like what they have is just applications running. For instance, several companies, I can say, around more than 50 to 60% of the company, they have no data culture ready yet. More than that. So only around 10 to 20% they are mature enough in terms of the data platforms, in terms of the AI initiatives, and they already have some AI and machine learning in production ready, and they're serving it. But I can say 60 to 80% of those bucket of the companies, they have just started, or some might already have built the data foundations. There are somebody is moving to data science and AI application and so on. But more than 60% of the companies, they are just starting. So if you are involving in some form of companies or some even IT companies or even with us, we expect you as a candidate to know, I mean, like the surroundings, like fully stack. But definitely, when when we open a job role, we open job role for data analytics or data science or data engineering. But you should be smart or you should be expert on that specific role. It's a kind of tricky thing. So one single person can have all these three. But I've worked in my past history that I worked as a data engineer as well. I worked as a data analyst. I worked as a data scientist. So over the time, but I didn't do all of them at the same time. I worked. I was initially Android developer originally. I did slowly ramped up into web development things, and it was very hard to enter to the data and AI scope that time. And I started with data engineering, and then slowly ramped up, like because I was already familiar with the data ecosystem and all. I brought up myself to some of the machine learning model. I started building, adding up things, and slowly I was I was involved in some of the companies as a data analyst, and over the time, like the interesting thing, I went to as the data architect kind of role. So if you go to as the role, like then architecture is what you know all of those components around, and you can solve the problem. You can build the architecture. You know how to place the component, how to which tool to use, how to make sure the data is secure, how to make sure the architecture is scalable, reliable, or it's not too expensive for the customer. So you need to think about different perspective around, and you become data architect, and then you become data leader and so on. I mean, that's how the journey goes, and that's how I was coming over as well. And I think definitely anybody can or will also be definitely following the same path. Um, so having said that, don't jumble up to all the topics around at the moment. Focus on one thing. Brush up yourself in one thing, and you can always expand the rest. So data analyst can always learn about the data pipelines, and they can slowly expand their horizon. Data scientists, that they can always learn about the data pipelines and cloud tools and technologies, and they can expand the horizons. Data engineers, they can always expand some kind of analytical knowledge. They can know about the BI tools and like reports and dashboards, presentations, and so on. And they will slowly expand that horizon. Even data analyst can become the business analyst. So if you are smart enough understanding the client problems and drafting that as a requirement and talk to the technical team, you become a liaison between a technical team and the business, then you become business analyst as well. So having said that, uh, uh, so these are the overlapping roles. Over the time, I see in my career that I see a lot of times that we had overlapping responsibility, job duties, and so on between these roles around. Sometimes we used to blame each other that because of that data analyst, the project is not happening, or because of data engineer, the pipeline is not running. Because of data engineer, data is not quality enough. And I mean, that happens a lot. That's why say there is overlapping piece in between. Uh, right, Subhan? I think you might also have faced something
Yeah,
similar.
absolutely. That's part and parcel of the job.
Exactly. So I think so with all that, so I think you can decide one. You can move it along, uh, and you will eventually become best in all. Eventually, you should know all. So in very past time, if you remember, um, like even in the web development application world, there used to be kind of fully like a backend developer, front end developer, API developer. There was a lot of things, but sometimes if you see, there are also the roles, there are majority of the roles these days you see fully stack. The company wants them to know about the back end, front end, but there is a specialized section called UI UX where the designers build the interesting look-alike, interesting UIs and so on. But company wants fully stack. They want the same person to work on the back end, same person to be working on the front end. But there are UI UX that they do for the looks and feel. But they should know the cloud. Company expect them to know the cloud. Company expect them to know Docker, Kubernetes, and these days, a lot of services are running on microservices. So, I mean, uh, that's the future. I say the future is to learn everything, but it's not possible to learn everything at a time. Again, start with something and end up. We expect you all become fully stack data team called data architect, aka solution architect, or data leaders, and so on. Or CIO, CIOs, or chief data officer, chief AI officers. There are roles like that in the market. So yeah, that's all. I mean, so what else we have? So job perspective, I talked about wherever you are, try to see which job is more prominent in the job market. Like I said, Nepal or which country like most of the people are from? Nepal, Jordan, Canada. If I miss anything, just type in, okay? So in terms of that, so that's the thing. What else? And the and the cloud thing, like definitely we'll try to cover a little bit of cloud things later the session. But first of all, I mean, it's good to have foundational knowledge, and then foundational engineering or data science or analytical concept. The depth. So I'll tell you. I mean, I think I'll tell you one interesting scenario. So we have interviewed so many candidates. What we look for is we saw the guy have included a lot of tools listed, lot of models, machine learning models listed, lot of like BI tools listed, all the generic terms. I mean, maybe they use ChatGPT or they have maybe tried at least something, but they have listed so many things. And one of the candidates that we interview was they have like I think a year they have listed a project and also a lot of tools involved like in the machine learning models. But when we talk about high level, what did you do? Oh, I did this project. I have used this tool, and so on. Now now in the interview process, we will be going over the vertical directions, not all the original directions. Yes, we may ask high level details at the first, but we go deep dive. Now we ask, okay, what model did you use? What kind of data sets you have used? Like, what did you do? I mean, what kind of code that you have written in Python? Like, how did you handle or how did you create the SQL window? And what is window function in SQL, for example? Or how did you handle the data cleansing and feature engineering in machine learning model? How did you do the feature engineering? How did you build the pipelines? How did you handle the scenario when the pipeline was failed? Machine learning pipeline, so data pipelines was failed, and how did you recover back the last day from the last day it was run? Like, how did you rerun the pipeline? How did you recover the backfill? Let's say you run the pipeline, there are some gaps in the data. How did you backfill the data? And we deep dive, and we were asking those candidates. They were stopped from that zone itself. They don't know because they have tried out so many things, but they never gone to any deeper perspective of it. And why did you choose a tool, let's say a Jupyter notebook to build versus a VS Code? What's the difference? I mean, how did you feel the difference? I mean, You should be able to explain. You should be able to share your experience through there. And sometimes customer we ever interviewing, they might also have confusion regarding it. I mean, maybe they want, or sometime if you become a senior, sometime even interview session, company ask you to give them some ideas over it. They also want to learn. They will give you scenarios. Sometimes they will give you scenarios, and you should be answering it. But my question, my thing is here is we want you to go deeper to the perspective. If you enter to the data science, go with the data science topics, models, catch one models, see how we can tune the model, see how we can um, do the hyperparameter tuning, do like things like how we can basically solve the problem, go deeper. But if you go data engineering, go deeper towards like creating the pipelines, make it incremental pipelines. There are change data capture concept. There are very deeper concept around it. In data analytics, you need to be able to prepare the dashboards and publishing the dashboards over the Power BI. Let's say you should not be hesitating creating the like trial accounts over the Power BI in the Power BI cloud, or somewhere in the you should be creating cloud trial version of the cloud. And things goes on, but definitely don't jumble up at the moment. Like specialized instructors will be taking over those courses you over slowly. But we expect you to do the assignment. That's mandatory. This is a training. This is not just the training. This is also part of internship. And professional section, we expect you to do the assignments mandatorily, and do the projects assigned, and get through learning and use like push that code into GitHub. Okay, just make sure do the project, push that code into GitHub. We also look for GitHub sometimes. We see how this person is engaged, how this person is engaged into like kind of this world. We see the GitHub reflects some part of it as well. And make your LinkedIn better. Sometimes don't hesitate to write articles. Let's say if you find something interesting, even I see there are people while learning, they are kind of a challenging in social media. I want to go 60 days of learning. Day 1, I did learn this. Day 2, I did learn this. Day 3, I did learn this. Come back and ask. We have internship assistant, right? Like tutor assistant or intern assistant, what you call. So we have those people. Those people are there for, and you can come to class and always raise your hand and ask question. But challenge yourself throughout the session. And you are in the situation now that we don't want to push you like in the college days. It's your time now. It's not our time. It's not something we push you to do things. We are just giving you the platform. Leverage the platform as much as possible. We have experienced people like Suvan, and we also have other instructors over the data science and data engineering, data analytics. So those instructors will be just helping you, lifting your hands, not pushing. Okay. So yeah, I think that's all. I think I talk a lot, but I hope I've given you some insights. If I'm interviewing you in next time, I want you to know something. I want you to become something expert in any one of the project at least. In the interview, what we start with is basically we looked into resume. We scan through the resume. I'll tell you the scenario how it happens, the selection process. We scan through the resume. We quickly look into some of the projects that you have done. It should be quickly listed. And we see if you have done GitHub links. We go to GitHub link, see if there is anything. We looked into some of the projects that you have done. You might have like highlighted key achievements that you have done. If we don't see that, we throw the resume in garbage. We have hundreds of resume coming in a day. Trust me. Second, once we select you for the next round, yes, you have listed the projects, you have the GitHub, you have done at least push something in the GitHub, and Now we call for a screening, kind of a technical high-level screening. We will ask high-level questions and pick one of the project that you have done. Or even we ask you initially, what kind of project that you have done so far, and what is the project that you are proud of? And we ask you. This is an opportunity for you to pitch in yourself, to showcase your mastery. So yes, I have done this XYZ project, X project, and in X project, I have used this tools. I have done this way. I was facing this challenge, and I solved the challenge by this way. You should be good, and then we'll ask follow-up question on the same topic. And how did you handle this scenario? We'll again ask the connecting question, and we will just run around. We see your horizon, how much you have gone through the project. It's not something which you just run the project and submit and done. No, you master on one project first, and then slowly we'll move to the other topics. Then if we feel like you stuck somewhere, we go to one level, second level. If you, I mean, in the same day, if we ask the one level high level question, we go a little bit deeper. If you stop answering, we leave you from there. We'll go to next question or next topic. And we will also assess few of the areas, something like we ask about Python, we ask about some questions around SQL, we ask around the project that you have done. If we didn't find fitting in at least these three perspectives, we don't call you next time in the next interview round. And let's say if we call you, we will then go over the coding session. Or even sometimes second session itself, we will go over the coding round. We will ask you to open up your browser or your VS Code, and we will ask you, we'll give you some scenarios on Python, scenarios on SQL, and just try to test your foundational knowledge. We don't want very fancy projects or things like that. We just want your plain vanilla form of knowledge, simple SQL, simple much like Python. We'll start with that, and slowly we will go deeper to that Python. We'll try to make you complex. Help, like basically we give you sample data, you run across the data, and you run the code, and you show us, okay, it's running. Maybe example, we'll give you a simple list of Python list, and we'll ask you to just sum the list of the Python. It's each element of the Python and show me total. Simple example. Now we'll ask you more, little bit extra, add more list, add additional list, and maybe multiply the corresponding items on the list. A little bit make it complex. Like do this without using loop, for example. Do this with the loop, or do this without try to optimize it. We'll ask you to optimize it, or add you more complex scenarios in between. We'll try to go try to deep dive you on the SQL Python vanilla form, simple vanilla. So and throughout the session, throughout the interview, how we expect the candidate is sometimes we don't blindly let you work. Being in a team member, how we expect a person is basically you share the problem that you said while coding. It's not necessarily you know all the syntax. You don't know it's not necessarily that you know you will solve the problem, but while coding you'll share the problem. I was trying this. I was thinking maybe this way I can solve the problem, but I'm not able to do it. Let me try this way. If you just express while you are doing the problem you are having, there are always leaders, there are always team leads or your colleagues, or I mean that's how we feel like during the process. We also want to test you that how you express your problem, how you are expressing your thought process in real world scenario. That how it reflects is basically if somebody is really portraying what problem they're facing on, and if they are having problem to solve project. Some people, what we find out is basically they are very hard to express their feeling. They're I mean, I don't know why, but there are people depending on different people. Sometimes we go to daily stand-ups. Every day we do daily stand-ups. We ask them, what did you do yesterday? What did you do today? sorry, what are you planning to do today? And any blockers. We ask 3 simple questions in every daily stand-ups in the project. Team leads or project managers, they ask this question. So we have found many people's unsuccessful people, what they did, they come to stand up. They say, oh, I was working on this task, but I'm not able to do it. But they don't say what exactly the problem is. And again, somebody asks, the team lead asks, what kind of problem you faced? In line number 76, I was having, in line number 76, my code was not running. My code was taking like too much of time. But they don't know exactly the thought process. Like, I have some of the people we work with, they say line number 70. I don't know. Where is line number 76? What is line number 76? Like how would I know without looking at your code? Line number what is in your line number 6? I'm in the stand-up right now. I don't have access to your code, or I don't have anything. So it should be clearly portraying. I was trying out to create or multiply a list, but the list seemed to be always giving me index out of error, something like problem in my code. Maybe. Oh, maybe. Okay, maybe and team leads come, maybe jump in and I also have faced a similar situation in the past. Maybe you can try this. We want in the interview process, we want you to go through that process. We want you to share your thought process, try a problem. We'll see how you solve. This is the same process. How Facebook, Google, this Amazon, these major giant companies, they also follow the same practice. So the idea is we just want to test if you can work with us, or if we can work together to solve the problem. The better you express, the faster we solve the problem. Even like I said, if you clearly say your problem, team lead can directly say, hey, try this way and let me know. Or maybe if you clearly say your problem, the team lead or the colleague can also say, oh, I also have faced a similar problem. Maybe I can you can try this one. Or if you say clearly about your problem, stakeholders, the clients or the project managers or management, they know what problem you are facing on. And if you clearly portray your complexity of the problem that you are working on, we know, yes, okay, you convinced us with your problem, and you say us, I think I still need 2 more days to solve this. Because this problem seems complete. I also did research on Google. I looked into forums. I do look into the something, and people are also having similar problem. They tried out. They have few options available, X, Y, Z, but I need to test that out. I need 2 more days to solve the problem. Yesterday, I was saying, I'm like management was saying, or client was saying, I need it today. But if you can convince them with the problem that you're having with the options that you're on, and like share that with stakeholders, they will be happy to accommodate your timeline to next 2 days. This is the real situation. This is how it happens every day to clients. This is how it happens every day to us. Communication. So throughout the session, we just don't want you to be in the back corner of the seat. Just listen what instructors or teachers are saying. Maybe do the assignments, and even if you finish the project, submit it. If you don't communicate and don't build up your communication skill throughout the session, it's risky in a side. Yes, technically, but you don't know how to communicate. That is also one of the major problem that we see in a candidate. Yes, the candidate knows a lot of things, but doesn't know how to structure while communicating. Doesn't know how to, and sometimes they will just simply say 1 or 2 words. We don't know what they are thinking, what the thought process looks like. Like you should really structure how you are feeling, what problem you are facing, what is your next attempt, what you're gonna do today. If not, if you just say, I'm not able to solve this problem, don't blindly say, and I will try again today, and tomorrow again you will blind because you have never shared to problem anyone. You will be again like stuck on the same problem, you will continue the same problem continuously. We have seen cases that the guy was spending 15 days to solve the problem. However, when we jump over a call and try to give him one direction, the problem was solved within the single day. Because of communication problem, the guy was stuck for 15 days. I have seen various scenarios like that. Maybe I also have done something in the initially, but I learned over the time and I fix it, and I try to help other people also do communicate in the same way. That's why I'm also giving the same. So while doing the session, you have TAs, you have the instructors. Always come up with your problem. Don't say I tried this, I'm not able to solve the problem, I'm not able to do the assignment, and so on. Instead, say I tried this, I'm having this problem. Is there any way I can do it? Your colleagues, or your instructors, your teaching assistants, they are there to help. We have the platforms, like I said, you have the opportunity, you have the platforms. Leverage this. It's not college days, it's not something college, it's not the training center, it's nowhere. We don't have we don't have we don't have tutors here, we don't have teachers here. We have instructors, we have team leads. Suvan is like your team lead here, or is even instructors who they will be like your team lead. And the teaching assistants, they are also your team leads or colleagues. Try to leverage. Okay. So I think I want to pick up if you guys have any questions. If not, Suvan, if you have anything to add on upon your experience, something that guys can learn from you. If not, we can pick up the question, then we'll answer and we'll wrap up the session today.
Yeah, Pushpendra Ji wanted to ask a question for a long time, so go ahead, Pushpendra.
I have some queries regarding to choose the path. Just to know, I have the confusion. First of all, I would like to start what I was doing till now, and so what should I do in the future? So you can guide me. That this field is Ashish already told that you can choose one and can decide later. But as this is the learning path, and choosing the right path will help me to learn the things. Like if I choose the engineering part, the tools will be the different tools, and analytics there will be the different tools, and later I can expand my horizon. But at the beginning phase, the tools will the learning from in my perspective and in my experience, learning from the someone else, it helped me a lot while learning myself. Makes a bit difficult because I should go through the different channel, and when learning from some senior, they will give the exact thing that is necessary, so I can learn in better way. So in past, I started to work as SEO back in 2012 and did a few years in SEO and started PHP programming from basic, and I did the programming language basically in PHP using Laravel lately. And I have some experience of SEO in current days also, doing some analytical, not that vast as a ML or AI types, but doing some graphical presentations and like that for the client, and did some tasks with the Nepali in Nepal industries, and as a role of BA. As I have contacted to the Nepali clients and collect their what is their necessity, what they want, and how to interact and collaborate with the developer teams and other teams to complete the projects. So based on these things, what do you suggest me? And my in my thinking before to before starting this course, I was trying to learn about like the cloud things. That was the new topic and AI and cloud things. So based on this, what do you guys suggest me to choose? Engineering part, analytics part, or scientist, data scientist part, which will be better to learn in terms of learning, not in terms of like that will be in the future things, but in terms of learning, what should I do so that I can learn to enhance
So what's
my
your
skills?
just one question I'll ask you. What you are leaning on so far, like engineering or analytics or science? What you found, at least what's your preference right now? I mean, though you haven't decided, but just so far, how is your feeling towards those three different areas?
Uh, I think engineering, without a guidance, if I have to choose, then I think I will choose the data engineering type. I think that that will be the good to know more about Hadoop like things, and I think that will be good. Or I don't have the exact idea, but I think that will be the good choice to know about the clouds and things about the other things.
Okay, let's finish the engineering. Okay, so in engineering, you said, did you try cloud by any chance in the past? Any cloud or anything like that?
Yeah, in cloud, not should I say that cloud or not? I have used the uh, cloud like the hosting for hostings and to host the my site, real-time
Like,
site of bulk SMS. That is
okay.
through the SS World of Nepal, and they provide me the one system to log in with IP and username password, and that is based on CentOS 7.
Okay.
So I have deployed the full life site, did all the thing, but without the concrete knowledge, and that is the right thing or not. But I have worked with the fully working system, but either that is the standard thing or not. There was not anyone to guide me to say me whether that is the right thing or that is the wrong thing. You are doing the wrong thing. So
Okay.
by
Okay. Makes sense. Like, one question: did you try any kind of, while deploying your website? Did you try something CI/CD kind of approach, or you did copy to SFTP and go inside the machine and deploy? Like, how was your approach? What did you like? What is the thing that you are proud of? Maybe you have deployed applications so many times, right, in the past.
yeah, yeah, I have
But
applied
what is something?
using
What
the
is something? What is something that you are proud of?
proud of like the proud of thing
And
is
and
like
deployment. Yeah.
previously while using the WHM and cPanel things that they have already we have the visual things, and there is not that vast things we should do, just copy paste and deploy. That is the easiest thing previously. But when you using with the terminal things, I have to manually deploy the server things, database things, and just working in the terminal and connecting with the VPNs and like that things. That while doing that things, that I feel I have learned something that and at that time I feel that I have learned something previously just using the cPanel and WHM. That was the just using software, but while using that thing also previously, I used to think that I learned something, but while doing with the terminals things in the CentOS and deploying the whole thing, that creating my all the things myself, that I think that is the proud thing.
Gotcha, gotcha. So now, okay, I'm just trying to go deeper in one perspective, but let's see other areas. So far, I think from your perspective, sorry, from your experience, looks like you have tried something. That's good. I think you are that is kind of a foundation knowledge for the engineers. Engineers need to deal with the deployment kind of things, and yes, there are specialized roles like DevOps and so on, but in smaller kind of the world or smaller business, smaller offices, they don't have specialized, or sometimes you have to handle the whole engineering project yourself. So you may not have DevOps available for you. You may not have analyst available for you. You may not have business analyst available for you. So you need to be collecting the requirement yourself. You need to be understanding the data, what they have yourself. You need to be preparing the data pipelines yourself, deploying yourself. So ideally, in not every project that you will be facilitated by the DevOps and so on. So it's good that you already have covered some of the part of the engineering part. So that being said, maybe engineering would be the right fit, but still, before deciding, so are you a good storyteller?
Like a good storyteller, there is a problem like in Nepali. If is the client is Nepali, then I can tell that I am the good storyteller. But due to the language is barrier and the language issue, I while speaking in the English platform, I may not be the good storyteller.
I mean, language is, something that you can practice over and you can improve over, but storytelling is something that how you structure your thought process or how you structure your content, right?
That
I
if
mean,
that is the scenario, then yeah, like not the better one, but I can say that I am the good storyteller too.
Okay. Okay. So you were saying you were also working as a BA in the past, right?
Yeah,
How did
I
you find that role?
doing BA with the Nepali clients. Like I have to work with a few governmental agencies, and while working with the government agencies, collecting the requirements and just fulfilling their requirement is like not is practicing with the private clients. Government client has some like there is some in Nepal in scenario. They have changing personals. They are frequently changing. While starting the project, there are few personals who work with us, and they have one kind of scenario, and while starting the and when at the time of completion there will be some different personals at the uh, time of verification, so their requirement will change again. So doing BA things in Nepal is just we have to handle the project as per the papers, but we have to listen to them, and we have to deliver as at the last the client what the client want is we have to deliver. So like not the
That's
satisfactory job in as a BA in Nepal.
I mean, it's not just Nepal; it's everywhere. It's the same problem everywhere anyway. So, next one is how do you rate yourself in Python from 1 to 10?
Python in 1 to 10, I think just I'm starting it like just 2, not more than 2. Just a beginner thing.
Two
I
in
can
Python.
yeah to like not high.
We started Python, yeah. Like you were saying, you're a developer back then, right? I used to just deploy the application. Did you used to write the code yourself in the
Yeah,
past?
I used to write the code myself in core PHP, and later
Okay.
on in Laravel, just I have guided the team, so they will do the things, and just I used to provide them the idea and just the pseudocode
Gotcha.
type the things. I write the pseudo type codes, and the Laravel developers used to do that the
That's
things.
good. That's good. Next question. How do you rate yourself in plain PHP from 1 to 10?
Plain PHP.
Yes.
Plain PHP like 6 to 7.
Okay.
Yeah,
Got
because
it.
I have like the doing PHP. I have it's long time that up to before COVID. I used to be the full time developer. But after
Okay.
that, I shifted to the BA like job. So the new I have to work with up to the 7.3 PHP 7.3, and after that now in 8 and 8 after that 8 things.
Okay,
Just
fine,
deployed the things
fine.
and guided the team, but
Okay,
not
fine,
hardcore.
fine. So now, okay. So you are now moving slowly towards kind of a BA or non-techie world. Is it your interest, or like you still want to become a coder? I mean, still at least something you want to code.
Coder, like doing the code. Previously, I
Not
love to
having, not
code.
be 100% of the coding, but at least maybe you have to code it back.
Yeah, like fully being the coder, like just being the coder. I don't want to be that in current scenario. So because the job I did in between, and
That's fine.
that
That's fine. I'm just asking like where your preference is, where you're heading. Like you don't want to code at all, it means.
no, I can code. Currently also I am doing some
Okay,
code stuff things also currently also.
fine. Then in that case, I think in that case, by looking into it can apply, it can the same principle can be applied to any one of you as well. Like if you have a development background, if you already have built some websites, or if you have some built some pipelines, or at least something you have done something in the past. If you have coded, if you have done code in the past, or if you have developed something in the past, moving on to data engineering would not be a hard stuff for you. For sure, you might have developed the code, you might have deployed the code, you might have done something. I mean, at least you are familiar with the tools and technologies, and engineering is more of like um, it should be ready to play around with the tools. It should be ready to play around with connecting them, creating the pipelines and like doing. Yes, you also have to code and create the like to do the code and so on. So if you have a development background, if you already have built some interesting websites or interesting applications and interesting things in the past, you already have deployed, you're already familiar with the databases, you're familiar with the tools and here and there, start with engineering. Quick and easy for you. And in terms of Puspendra, I suggest you the same, maybe start like go with the engineering. But when you were saying like a little bit, I may not prefer to code, I may be a little bit lazy going forward, or you don't want to push you back again to kind of a little bit coding area. It doesn't mean you have to do a lot of code. Even anywhere, I mean, even you go data science, you have to do code. Even data analytics, you have to do code. I mean, yes, you can do without the code, like there are drag and drop tools, drag and drop BI tools. You can do things like that, but ultimately you want to be smart in that arena, like you have to code. I mean, coding doesn't leave us on a side.
No, no,
I mean, you have to be expert, but at least little bit. But from my perspective, if that's the case, go with the engineering. That's my suggestion. But don't take me hard. It's because of him I'm going to the engineering and so, but it doesn't hurt at all. Like if you go to engineering, if you do any one of these three and like you brush up yourself in the other one, like it's not the loss. It's never the loss, even if you choose one thing and in future you slowly ramp up. But one thing I can say is choose one career path. Let's say you want to become a data engineer and you are targeting for some companies to work for. Look for what kind of job description they do have. Uh, like something that interests you, or you can improve it every day, or you have done at least some part of it. Then yes, go for it. But don't spend your mind thinking this and that. Sometimes you look for engineering skills, sometimes you look for data analysis skills, sometimes you look at data science skill, and your mind is already burned up and like oh, it's a headache, seems like a lot. Okay, I think then you want to sleep. Okay, let me better sleep. And you wake up and you refresh again, and again you move somewhere. I mean, you want to relax. I mean, the thing is, don't jumble up yourself. That's why I'm saying focus on one. If you already have a development background and so on, start with one. go and brush up yourself, become smarter, and slowly over the time you are already in a data background. I mean, it's not far from any one of them, right? Like any science or analytics or engineering, it's more of data background. So you are already in data ecosystem. So it means you have the data to play around, you have the tools to play around, and if you know one, and you can slowly graph some, you can build machine learning models. You can try these days interesting things like data. I mean, even you are data engineering, even you are in data engineering, you can try something like interesting these days, agentic world. The world is going agentic now. Maybe you find, if oh, let me try something, a small open AI model to ask my question, like ask the question in document. Maybe create a simple RAG model. Maybe create simple chat application. Maybe you should be smart, like you should be smart enough to try out something. It doesn't block you anytime. You can try out anything anytime. So I can say for Pushpendra, I think maybe data engineering may be good for you. Uh, uh, but if you already have worked on BAs as a kind of a business analyst, and then data analytics also might be fit for you. But start with one. Don't, like, maybe start with engineering. If you already have developed and you are enjoying that developing, deploying, and then so on, you definitely will enjoy the engineering. So, is it good, Pushpendra? Are you clear about the
Yeah,
suggestion?
yeah, I'm clear. And like doing code is still I love, but now due to the AI, just it's I think the like the easier thing previously when we started that just to solve the one thing I have spent more than 7 days also. Now it's the easiest thing that I should have the concept and the AI will do my job. Like I
Uh,
can say that.
you got you got it. You
So
got it. So interestingly, the NVIDIA CEO a few weeks back, he was saying, even the big other giants are saying that in future there will be only one programming language, that is natural language. That is how we talk. If you can talk in a very structured way, if you can ask AI to, or like prompt, you can do better prompting, or basically the concept prompting means, I mean, ultimately if you can create a logic, ultimately you should be logical. Like I said, programming is just your reflection of how you think or how you process, or how is your thought process. So in these days, there are a lot of coding tools like Cursor, the Chat GPT, and they will write simple Python, SQL, things like that. But if you better give a prompt, better give you the, like, you can give the scenarios, it can write a code. But it doesn't mean 100% it solve the problem. But future, yes, coding is, you don't necessarily need to write the general code again and again and again. Like, you'll be only focusing on the key things. So having said that, like the skill, problem solving skill is the key thing. The problems, how the problem solving skill comes in is practice. If you take a problem, solve the problem, do the assignments, even try out something else. Like I said, try out something, try to create a chatbot, try to create the simple model, try to create things like X, Y, Z. I mean, you have to do out of the zone as well and create the GitHub portfolio and do deep dive sometime. I mean, like I said, I think you are clear now, right, Spencer? So even if you go to data engineering, it doesn't mean it doesn't necessarily, and that's not a message to everyone that you must be a coder. It's not that, for sure. Coding can be done by. So who next? Wanna ask question?
I just want to add a little bit of perspective to Pushpendra, if it might make him easier to understand it. The problem in data and data departments in all of the companies is that even if they know about the tools and if they understand about the tools, some of the business, they have a very unique problems, and trying to work in that problem, trying to understand the problem, trying to solve that problem is very difficult for an outsider, but it's much easier for someone who is already within the company and working in that data department, no matter if it's an analyst or data engineer or a machine learning engineer. And what most often than not, what the companies they do is they try to train their own employees already in that department to upskill, and then it becomes very easy for them to, because they understand, okay, the data is coming from here, the data is going through this pipeline, and this is the problem that I need to solve. And after that, it's just because you already know, you have already worked with the tools, you already know about the algorithms, you already know how to storytell. The solutions just, it comes bang on very easily and very fast that way. And it's not a good thing to say, but it's cheaper for the companies to do that than to hire a specialist, because that person will give you the perfect solution, but it's going to take a long time. And companies, more often than not, they don't have that bandwidth. They can't expect to hire a super 10x machine learning engineer or a super 10x data engineer, give them 6 months of time and then get a perfect solution. They don't want that. They want, okay, I'll give you a month to maybe master the tools, and then give me a working solution. You can then take 6 months to kind of like fine tune it and make it stable, but I need a solution in a month and a half, something like that.
Yeah, that's a good perspective. Yes, exactly, Subhan.
Yeah, so it doesn't. So and out of the 3 tracks that we talk about, data engineering is like in the smackdown middle of it, because a step above would be the data scientist, a step not exactly hierarchical, but kind of like in terms of skill sets, because a data engineer builds upon the skill sets of a data analyst, and a data scientist builds upon the skill sets of a data engineer. So it's like, they say, don't shoot for the moon, shoot for the stars, because even if you miss the stars, you will fall on the moon. But if you're shooting for the moon, you're going to fall back on Earth. What's the point of it anyway?
Agreed. So in the same point, Subhan, like I have interviewed so many candidates in the past. They have built a project using deep learning. They talked about, yes, I did these many, I run a deep learning model with this many number of batches. I made different layers of things like that. But there are no, why you choose these many layers in machine learning model? Why you choose that model? What is exactly machine learning model, or why did you choose deep learning instead of machine learning, for example? So they don't even know the basics, like why it's going over. But my concept is, like as Subhan said, like the foundation knowledge is something you need to have. The machine learning model frameworks XYZ, you either use TensorFlow, or you either use that PyTorch, or use the Spark, you use Pandas, whatever rest of the whatever tools you have. Like there are thousands of tools in the market, thousands of open source projects in the market, thousands of drag and drop tools in the market. That's where data architect will play around in, like try to get the best tools around and try to work on. But my idea is, as Subhan said, foundation knowledge is something you should have. If you have the foundation knowledge, even like if you fall back to the foundation, you can always groom yourself. So first thing, you should brush up your Python and SQL. That's the foundation. You should brush up yourself to them around and try to solve the problem. Try to solve the problem and try to understand at least one domain. Maybe that's why we are focusing on banking domain right now. And in going forward in the session, you'll be doing project. If you are the data scientist, you'll be building machine learning models on the banking data. Engineering background, you'll be pulling the banking kind of tables and work upon that. Or an analyst, you'll be creating some of the KPIs that bankers do use. And when you go to bank and do an interview, for example, or if you go in any IT companies, you go in and talk to them, then you will be able to explain them the problem that you're working on and that you work on, and that how you solve the problem, and you can connect the dots. And even if my companies were not working in a bank, for example, if I'm interviewing you, if you can explain me well better in very layman term of what you are doing in one particular domain, that I can feel and I can sense on you that you'll be able to gain the domain knowledge to other verticals. Let's say can be telecoms, can be a e-commerce, can be anything, right? I mean, and manufacturing or anything. You can always brush up your the domain knowledge. So domain knowledge something can be learned, can be adapted, but at least have one domain knowledge properly clear, and do the projects, do the storytelling, and try to all like during the interview process. We may be calling you, by the way, for the interview in a couple of weeks or months. Be ready for that. We expect, like I said, we expect, but it doesn't mean don't apply. Apply, attempt, learn something. What's the problem I have, and try to fix that problem. Try to learn or try to fill the gap that you have. I think that's good. Thank you, Shubhan. I think that's a good point.
Yeah, small question from Rohit. Should we build better understanding of coding algorithm? When you say understanding of coding algorithm, do you mean data structures and algorithms? So if you mean data structures and algorithms, then I wouldn't say it's that much important. Like if it's medium, the importance is kind of like medium to high. It isn't like the top priority to have understanding of coding algorithm, and that's per se. But yeah, there are some few things that you might need to have a look at. So let's say hash map, queues, and linked lists, those kind of things. You might also want to have a look at better understanding of sorting, searching, and merging. But it's more often than not, you're not going to be working on implementing that until and unless you are kind of like building a platform. If you're just building a pipeline, more often than not, you won't be involved with implementation of such data structures and algorithms. It won't be unless you are working to build a proper ETL platform that you will be exploring those avenues. And it's got to do with more with data engineers that would be looking at this, and of course data scientists as well. As a data analyst, you don't have to have that broad understanding of DSAs.
Oh, great. And those skills can be built over time as well. Like when the time comes in that you realize, okay, I need to learn about key value pairs. Okay, you realize it. Okay, I need to know about key value. Then okay, I need to understand HashMap, for example. Then you can go and try out HashMap and try the things, and over the time, this can be built up. But in our college days or in our college courses, this is taught differently. You have to recite the algorithms, you have to recite the formulas, and you have to recite even the code. And that's the problem. And you go and write in paper in the exam. That's something kind of trivial to see, but in reality, it's not that tough. It's not that something crazy thing. DSA ultimately help you. Yes, DSA, good to have a DSA knowledge. Like Subhan said, sometimes if you are doing lot of lookups into in a big chunk of table, and if you are just going over loop and checking over each and every elements, we have billions of customers. Imagine you have billions of customers, and you have to find some person's name, or you know already the customer ID, but you want to find their phone numbers. Imagine if you write a for loop, and that for loop goes over billions times of each customers, go on, and you have written in code in between just to check if there is if the ID is same, give me the phone number. Imagine the time taken to run the whole program will be minutes or hours. And if you have billions of customers, it even goes days. And your system crashes, your laptop crashes, your application crashes, and you are not able to deliver the result in time. And if you build a search engine and give it to customer to search something, heck, they will be spending like the button, the UI will be running around, just revolving for you to wait for days. So DSA comes in when, okay, I need to optimize that. Okay, how does it solve? Let's go with hash map. I put the data in a key value pair. So key will be all the IDs, key the customer IDs, and value will be maybe anything like first name, last name, and so on. Just look up by ID, and it will be the so linear that it will be just 1 1, like kind of N1. But if you go with the for loop, it will be exponential. So that's how you learn over the time, But something, don't stress out with those kind of topic, but it's good to have, definitely good to have. Brush up yourself while doing the project. Try to optimize, think in a mind of optimization perspective. How can I optimize this code so that I can run it faster? How can I run this code so I can make it better, run faster, make the slick code. How can I make it the short code? How can I make it run faster, and how can I make it more accurate, and so on. I mean, this is how you progress towards. More questions? Guys, speak up. Speak up. We want you to come front. Talk. Like, imagine we are in a client meeting right now. You are hired in a company. You are in a meeting. You are in a boardroom. And we have this call going on. And you have a lot of questions in your mind. Let's say you are working as data analyst. You need to understand client problem to do work in a project. If you just sit in the back, don't understand what client is talking about, or maybe you are understanding, but you have some question or confusion to clarify it before you start working. It will be in your mind, and tomorrow you go and try to do your work without clarity. Then you will be spending so much of hours, so much of days, and you come up and with the result back to customer, and customer says, no, this is not what I want. This is not something we're expecting you to spend on. Your team lead says, you should not have done this before. Why you are spending this much time on this one? Instead, this is our priority right now. This is the result that we need. Let's focus. They might say that, right? So it's an opportunity when you're having conversation over the class, like it's an opportunity to speak up, open your camera. If you don't feel opening camera is convenient for you, it's okay. Just speak up, ask question, clarify your career, and move ahead. Right. So I always urge people to speak up.
Yeah, guys. So this is also the reason in our first session, I mentioned that no answer is the only wrong answer. I make it a point. I make it a point across all of my teams throughout my career. I've always mentioned the same thing. Like, if you're quiet, if there's no answer, that's the only wrong answer. If you speak up, even if that's the wrong answer, at least it shows to me that you're missing some points and you just need a little bit of clarification and direction. But if there's no answer, that just says to me that you're clueless. You have no idea.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So better to speak up, and it also depends how you speak up. Let's say in my understanding, I think this is what I know, or I understand this. Am I right, or something? Did I get you correct, or did I get you right? Or should we go with this way? Just to clarify, should we go this way? Maybe you can express this way so that you don't get embarrassed over the session, though even you don't know many things or you are confused with something. And this is how you express. This is a way of communication. I mean, sometimes if you just go on with a problem and just say, I think this is not, no, we should not do that. No, let's do that. If you go that picky word, then only the problem comes in. But if you're just coming in a diplomatic way, or maybe start with something good that you understood, and maybe try to clear up your confusion in a way, and everybody is there to help. Everybody will be happy to help. And this happens while we're working with customers as well. world will work in a company, working in a team, and this is the reality.
Also, about the point of being embarrassed, there actually is nothing to be embarrassed about. And a prime example that I give you, I learned this from a comedian that I was listening to, and the comedian explained to this. You ever watch your friends or your kids trying to learn a musical instrument when they are learning the musical instrument and they're not playing in scale, they're just, fooling around with the instrument. You might have come across even your friend trying to learn how to play guitar, right? You ever look at them and then laugh at them? You don't, right? Nobody does that when somebody's trying to learn something new. So that's the same experience over here. You're trying to learn a new skill set over here. Nobody's going to laugh at you for even asking the most stupidest question.
Yep. Instead, many of the other candidate will learn from you, from your question.
Exactly. Because what happens is it's not just you who has the question. Many of you might have the same question in their mind. You might have just have been hesitating, and just if one of you asks the question, it's like a blessing for the rest of the group.
Yeah, great. If you're being proactive and taking initiative, ask questions. So it means you're representing so many of similar people like you, and you will be answering so many people's heads question. So far, guys, like some of the guys were already asking questions. It means that the same questions many people had, and at least they were clarified with that. That's good. That's good. Anybody wants to hands up and ask question? If not, we'll wrap up in 5 minutes. Okay, you'll have opportunity of only 5 minutes to ask question. Maximum 5 minutes will be standing here. Okay, Kashish.
Hello, sir. I joined late, so I don't know if other have asked this question or not, but I'm confused right now because I don't know which to choose. I wanted to choose data science, but when I searched it, it says like it is like more difficult, so I don't know which to choose. So can you help me like suggest me a little bit?
To do that, we need to understand your background, what you have been doing, what fascinates you, what you'd like to become. Like, help us understand better.
Yeah, like working in data, that was like that interests me first, and I also want to learn more about ML. But whenever I search it, like because I'm a beginner, so it is like difficult for me to understand.
Okay, what did you study? Like, what did you
Yeah,
study?
I studied computing, but
Computing, past.
yeah, before I was like in software.
Software. Oh, you were a developer back then?
Yeah, I used to work in Laravel.
Oh, okay. It's a full stack.
Not work, but yeah, I used to like learn that Laravel and front end.
So do you have professional experience working in some companies as a Laravel developer or so?
I was intern.
Okay. So why didn't you continue the job then?
I wanted to change my like careers. I was more interested in data, so I started to
I see.
research.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that is how I enter.
I see. Okay. So, okay. How did you find the Laravel then? Why didn't you continue? Or are you still working on Laravel or so? Or
No, not now.
not now? Okay, you are trying to go start a career in data. Okay. So what is like you're talking about data? Like what fascinates you? What is something that you think you can do? What do you want to build? when you say data science, you thoughts about data scientist role and job description and some maybe you short something, and why what is the perspective, and it's hard, like why it's hard? It's not hard. But just want to understand, just tell me.
Maybe because I am like new here, that is why I felt that way.
Mhm. Like what topic, what specific topic make you feel it's hard? What specific statement from someone like make you feel hard?
Um, I don't know.
No, you should know. You search Google, right? You search, or you ask somebody. Somebody was saying something.
No, not somebody. I just searched in Google.
Well, how did you search? Like you ask ChatGPT, what, like which one is easier? And then why you want to go with the easier one? Do the hard one. Go for hardest one. Go for the
Because
hardest one.
like,
Then you
yeah,
will be in the front line, then you will be in the front phase of everything. You'll be in the top notch in the career. You'll be get paid more. You'll be pulled by so many companies. When you send your resume, you'll be pulled up by, like, you'll be called by many companies. Go for hard. Why you want to go for two? This is the life in career. This is the stage in our career to fail and try out something, fail and again try something, and eventually you become the smartest one. In worst case, what do you become? You become you already know the easiest thing. I mean, you already can go to the easier career even if you fall back, right?
yeah, but like the topics like data science like includes mathematics and
uh,
I don't know that
now
kind
you
of
express
stuff. So
now you express your feeling. That's what I was talking about. Now you should be communicative enough to share your thought process. Now you're okay. Now I know why you were saying hard. It's because yes, it has mathematics, and maybe because of mathematics, you are saying that's the problem. Like the way we were taught back in time, mathematics is hard, DSA is hard, uh, the way we were taught like that. But it's not something that we have a lot of mathematics in data science to do these days. Like you don't have to do so much of mathematics because you have so much of wrapper libraries and tools and like TensorFlows, like Keras, PyTorch, and those mathematics are already almost wrapped up in a library. So to do, I mean, the only time when you need mathematics and is something you big, like not just for data science, not even for data analytics. Let's say the data analytics need to do month over month calculation, year over year calculation. They want to see, let's say business are asking, hey, I want to see how my business is growing month over month. I want to compare my business growth over yearly. How is it going year over year? How is it going month over month? How is it going day over day? Or how is my pattern over the business? And like, do I have any anomalies in the business? Anomalies in, or is, like, let's say for a bank project, let's say, are we having any fraud? How do I identify the fraud before it's get escalated? You know, it's not just data science, even engineering, while making engineering pipelines, like we talk about, you should be knowing about the hash map. You should be knowing about the calculation, because even in the engineering, when you are writing as like the data, when you are doing engineering, when you are like cleaning the data, when you are creating the feature engineering, or kind of helping the engineering the tables for data scientists. I mean, you are already, like, you should be doing some kind of mathematics though. But like I said, there is still something should not be blocking anyone with mathematics. This is something like even Subhan said earlier about the DSA things. A particular situation when you are particularly building platforms, you are building wrappers, libraries, frameworks. or something the libraries can't help, or sometimes you want to go very specific in tuning the models, and then that times comes in about the mathematics and those deeper knowledge and so on. I mean, that's the progressive thing that you will be learning over. You'll face the problem, you'll find one specific mathematics formula and try to implement it, or maybe try to solve it. It's not something that you should be knowing all the mathematics formula that you see in the market and you're solving. They should be solving the problem. No, it's not. It depends by like a project or like a and problem by problem basis. You know. What's your name? By the way, you were saying your name is saying Kashish, but is it like looks like you are using someone else's name, or is your name Kashish, or what is that?
Yeah, causes.
Kashish. Oh, okay, nice name. Ashish and Kashish. That's good. So okay, so then okay, now we haven't concluded. So you were thinking data science is tough because of mathematics, but what do you want to do? Easy. What is easy for you? What did you find?
No, like I haven't really done that kind of like statistics and kind of things here.
Mhm.
So like I was scared to like um oh, I forgot the word.
Okay, that's okay. So you were kind of afraid you will be end up with mathematics and things like that, right?
Yes, I was
Uh,
in denial on which to choose.
I see. I see. How about data analytics? Mm, like data analytics can also be good for you, but like I said, but if you already have Laravel kind of background, I already mentioned the Pushpendra that you already have done some kind of Laravel development, and you already have done some background, you already have some background, then it will be faster for you to go into engineering, you know. Uh, but um, but it's not rigid that you must be doing engineering. But if you do engineering and you brush up yourself to some of the machine learning, you build machine learning models and so on, company will like it. I mean, you know better one thing, and you can slowly brush up. But trust me, in future, Cautious will be doing data. I want to see you become data scientist. Don't get afraid of mathematics. Even I was afraid of mathematics back then. I was afraid of the C. When I see for the first time, I was, what kind of programming language? Why it's so hard? And because how teacher was teaching, they were just looking for the book and writing the code on the blackboard or whiteboard. We had to go to the exam and write the code in the paper. that's why that's why it's kind of a, and then they were on during the even the training, even the lab session, they were just trying to write a code, not solve the problem. They were not giving us the problem to solve. They were just they were just letting us to write the code. That's why is the problem. But now, even myself, when I started doing kind of HTML, CSS, and when I see the value of and I feel the power of the coding, then I feel interesting. Oh man, this is the thing. I started doing Java, then I started doing then Python, and then so on. Like that's how even myself I was afraid to do the C at the beginning.
This might paint me in a poor picture, but just wanted to share this. During my entire educational career up until bachelor, my my poorest subject was mathematics. But it's been almost 15 years of professional career working in data. The domain that I enjoy working in the most is machine learning.
See,
And frankly, whatever I learned, all the calculus, all the linear algebra, it's much more easier to understand and work in machine learning.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The only problem was how we were taught. We had to
Yeah.
we have to remember the formula, and we had to like do LHS equal to RHS or prove the final result. And
I'm pretty sure most of you who have learned done linear algebra and calculus, you must have asked yourself, where am I going to make use of this, right? As soon as you learn your first algorithm in machine learning, in fact, the example that I showed you in machine learning, that used linear algebra, the most basic linear algebra formula. And once you start learning all the other algorithms one by one, you will like the bulb on your head, on top of your head, will like switch on, and then, oh, this is where you use your linear algebra and calculus and all other stuff, and it becomes so much easier after that because everything starts to connect.
yeah, exactly. Even y equal to mx plus c was so tough for us to remember. Like it was coming from nowhere, and we didn't know what it is used for. We just had to learn y equal to mx plus c. What the hell is this? Where we are implementing this? We're clueless that time, right? But remember now, even small y equal to mx plus c can solve many problems. It can create machine learning model. Linear regression is all about that, right? And like simple thing can make big, even the derivatives. First derivatives can solve the problem. First derivatives, this y equal to mx plus c can solve many things. The small things should be enough. You don't have to go to the second derivative, third derivatives, and so on. That's the far thing. And the small, the single derivative itself solves most problems. So if you really want to do data science stuff, but if you are afraid of mathematics, I say go for it. Eat it. You'll remember. Okay, I was afraid just for nothing. Okay.
Okay, thank
Whatever
you,
you feel
sir.
is hard, whatever you feel it's hard, go for it. That's how you become top notch in the market. How you show yourself in the market, you are different than other. Yeah, everybody say mathematics is hard. That's why nobody, like majority of the people, they don't try. That's why they're back. And like it means it's it's a chance for you to be in a smaller pocket list. So you'll be hired better, hired faster, right? Okay. Try to brush up when you feel it's hard. Maybe start with something very small, y equal to mx plus c. Try to understand simple mx plus c. Try to understand first derivatives. Try to understand simple regression models, and then so on. Maybe try go on that way. Okay. So I think Kashish, is it clear? Like if that mathematics is blocking you, go for data science. So don't that. But if you want to become a data engineer, if you have some signals of doing data engineering, but I say you have a like programming background, I think engineering would not be hard for you to start. But data science things like that, you can always brush up yourself in later time as well. But don't stop yourself going up with the like stop doing something on the data science career. But start with engineering maybe. Kashish, you can always enhance data science then. Okay. All right. See thumbs up, then it's good. Who else? But we'll take one last question. Whoever lucky it is. If you don't find any question, it means everybody is clear about the career direction. It's good that we are jumping in the next class. I think we have almost a week for you to decide yet. But we want you to RSVP on the course that you'll be attending as soon as possible. You should be shortly receiving the maybe tomorrow, something like that. You should be receiving a form to decide which course you're gonna go for. But you will still have time until next week, because we'll be starting the class next week to decide. You can ask your friends, you can ask Google, you can ask ChatGPT, you can ask us again. Feel free to reach out to us. You can ask question in the Slack. Still have time, but like I said in the beginning, these all three roles are overlapping. We want one person to know everything. That's the ideal scenario. So it's just matter of where you want to start. That's it. But we want you to become master in one. Okay, I think if no one have question, maybe everybody's clear about the answers that we have given to some of the candidates. Like maybe that should be helpful. And so, like I said, tomorrow around time you'll be receiving the form to submit, maybe this week, and we'll have next week as a gap. So during the gap session, like, are you guys assigned any project? Nothing, right? So like we haven't given anything.
On the last week, I did give them a couple of capstone projects based on whatever we went through in the first month of foundation course. So it's not a proper project per se. It's just linking everything that we've learned in the foundation course.
Okay, all right, then that's good. So you guys can create that as a project and then maybe push it in the GitHub. Try that out, and also that helps you to brush up or basically recap what you have learned so far before you jump into the advanced classes. Okay, and maybe and then next session you'll be specialized by the instructors in the specialized field, data science, analytics, or science, and you'll have like you'll have internship assistant as you do up now, and also what you'll have. And like I said, in future, we may plan for an interview session. We are looking for few roles. We'll be opening that up, and we'll be doing interview. So like I said, don't hesitate to do apply. Even if you don't know much, for that day, for the interview, push yourself to learn something new. This kind of incident in life, I remember myself back in time that like sometimes some interviews, sometimes some kind of a presentation, some kind of projects that we have to do, some kind of challenge that I took over my job, that pushed my boundary, that pushed my limit to learn something more. Okay, so don't hesitate yourself to try something and learn something, push your boundary, push the limit, and we want to see you in. We want to work together with you, okay? And we will be seeing you. We want to see you as a data architect, a data leaders, AI leaders in future. All right. Subhan, anything as a closing remarks from your side?
Yeah. So pretty much everything has been covered. What I'm going to do is on the Leaning to AI platform, I'm going to give you guys a couple of things that you need to brush up on, as well as kind of explore during your 1 week break. And it's going to be divided according to the 3 stacks. You're free to go through all of the 3 stacks, whatever is in there. And I'm pretty sure that is going to kind of help you understand your strength and your weaknesses, and kind of help you in deciding, okay, since this track focuses on these things more, and I'm more familiar with, or more comfortable with, or maybe this is what I want to explore and do, then that could probably help you make your decision if you are still undecided. If you're already decided, it would be even better to kind of deep dive on those topics that I will present to you guys. So after the 1 week period gap, when we start with the advanced courses, you'll be all prepped up and ready to go.
Yeah, that's a good point. And maybe even the first session of the upcoming advanced class, if you decide to go with engineering, let's say, try to come up with what is data engineering, what does data engineers do, what are the tools, data engineering, popular data engineering tools in the market, and basically what kind of problem data engineers faces, and how do we solve. Kind of there are a few questions you go over. You can note it down somewhere, and then during the session, during the first session, maybe in the engineering class, we can pick any one of you guys, or you can come up yourself and share something interesting if you find it. Okay. Or let's say data science, you can find out what is data science, what data scientist does, what are the tools data scientists mostly use, and what are the different machine learning models in the market, what are the different areas around data science, like machine learning, deep learning, the reinforcement learning, the generative AI models, right? The LLMs and so on. So try to understand a little bit more around. Then for analyst, what is data analyst? What are the tools like Power BI, Tableau, and their open source others, Superset, the tools, popular tools in the market, like what kind of questions being the data analyst is asked for. For example, in a bank, what kind of problem data analysts solve? In telcos, what kind of problem data analysts solve? You can look for a few examples of the businesses, how they solve the problem with data analysts, or how data analysts help us to share the story on. Yeah, go over that. Try to understand very layman, very basics way, and try to find out some examples how data, not just this last question is not just specific to data analysts or data science and analytics. Just find out what are the current trends in the market. What is AI or data? How data and AI shaping or helping businesses to take decisions? For operations, for the customer service, from technical support, or the IT team and overall business team, the loans, operations, anything, like just try to do research how AI and machine learning or anything in data and AI is helping companies to take better decisions, or companies to have their efficiency, have their operational efficiency, or helping them to make their customer happy with the next best action, next best offer, next best recommendation product, things like that. Okay, do some this research, at least have some kind of a presentation. Okay, be ready with the presentation, each one of you, with this kind of information, and share us if you find something interesting. Okay, so we expect on the first session, we expect you guys to be presenting. Okay, we will randomly pick you up, or maybe we'll see, or we wish, maybe if we try to cover everyone, maybe we'll be able to cover, because the size will be smaller going forward in the next session, because it's specialized and you'll be distributing 3 groups. So we'll be even going to individually. We want you to present some interesting things happening in the market. Okay. Who is asking question? Sir, can you put up the presentation as a project in leading to AI? Okay. Oh, I think the last presentation you guys talking about, the last Subhan presentation.
Sorry. Yeah, it's already up. The last presentation is already up.
Okay, okay, good first, Prince. Puspendra, you have something to say then, but we need to wrap up now.
Yeah, just I want to know about my curiosity. Just while talking that it triggered me something on my mind that about the data engineering and these all the things. Just I have previously worked on one project that used to that before few years the fetching the data from let's say they don't provide the API. Currently, there is a provision to provide the API by paying some amount, but previously there was not that system, so we can do get our API. So I have one website using the core PHP. I used to fetch the data from let's say every day after 3 p.m. and I used to store that on my website and used to display that in my form. I don't used to fetch all the data. There are lots of fields, so only some few fields, and still that is working. That is regularly fetching the data on my site until the date also. Is that the thing like that is related to data engineering, or just you asked about the real-time scenario while talking? I will that is that the thing that is related to the data engineering? Just I want to ask that.
Okay, let me answer that. So just to clarify, you are getting the data every day from Nepse and then using API maybe, and you're pushing that up to website. What tool did you use for that?
Just the scraping thing from web scraping from PHP.
Oh, okay.
They had the data on tabular format on the Nepse site. And
Mm,
after 3 p.m. When the market closes and like at 3:10 or 3:15, when the data is match get ready, and I used to fetch that data that is automatic through the cron jobs.
okay. Yeah. That's one of the part of engineering. You already did the one simple engineering flow. That's how we used to work traditionally. Now the system is getting so better. You have a lot of tools in the market. There you are using cron job, but we have these days tools like Airflow. Airflow also works like you have a scheduling option. It helps you to monitor. So what if you schedule a cron job, but what if the cron job was failed in sometime at 12 night and you are sleeping, and tomorrow morning your business were supposed to use the data, supposed to see the data in website, but they didn't see. Who would know? How would you know that? So it's just engineering is just a fancy things of what you have done in the past. I mean, you already have built a pipeline actually. So now with the engineering pipeline, what we have now is, let's say with the Airflow, what you can do, you can schedule a pipeline to run the code to do the web scraping. The other component will be to write it to your database, let's say, right? So that and that in that pipeline, you also have something called watcher. If something goes wrong with the pipeline, it will send a notification alert, or even it can call you, even it can send a text. And while let's say support team is sleeping, when you are sleeping, like they will, like the system will call automatically or send an email or send a text and oh, my pipeline is broken now, let me fix it. You can go and fix things, right? I mean, that's how this data engineering getting fancy right now. And imagine if you had to do some kind of a transformation, you pull the NEPSE table or data and you have to do kind of a aggregation and put that into table form. So you want to see average value of the price or average stock price for a day, for example. You want to create a table. and somebody and your user, let's say you want to give them a result. Let's say if they search for a NEPSE stock ID, and if they want to see the average price value per day, or if they want to see time series values of the time series of that stock price. I mean, so this kind of things, if you want to do it, like you do it in a proper way, kind of you create a pipeline. So you would have hundreds of scenarios like that. So sometimes like for a company, for a bank, let's say, bank has so many sources like that. So one of the source, they have core banking system where all your transactions happening. There is one mobile banking system. This separate mobile banking application. So whenever you do buy a ticket, you do transfer money, you do things XYZ, your mobile banking will keep track of all. I mean, mobile banking application keep track of all of those. You have the cards. Whenever you go to Barbertini, for example, you go to some shopping mall, you go to e-commerce website somewhere, you scratch the card, you'll generate the data. The system is separate, the mobile banking is separate, core banking is separate, you have a company website separate, you have all HR system separate, you have all third-party application market data and so on. I mean, you could be pulling like structured like database data, or unstructured like the way you are doing like website data, or sometimes you could be even pulling the files, or you could be pulling the API data, like so there could be hundreds of type of data sources. So data engineer is the person who will deal with those different form of data sources, connect them, and like bring them in a single like store, like data lake, kind of clean it up, make a data warehouse. So data scientists or data analysts, they don't have to take headache of like pulling the data from here and there. They can just focus on how can I make a machine learning model so I can recommend it to customer. Data scientists, data analysts to how can I make sure a presentation is ready, like a dashboard is ready, so my executives can see how is the growth on the transactions on my credit card. Or I have 10 different products. Which product is really performing well? Which product is not performing well? Which ATM in the region has so much of capacity and it's always people should to be in a queue? Which ATMs in the area doesn't have any transaction at all? Maybe some ATMs to be replaced, removed from the area, and move it to somewhere where there is a high transactions, high volume, and so on. I mean, that's how they decide, right? They took the decision on. So being a data engineer, your objective is to create a pipeline. You move the data from point A to point B to point C and do the transformation and get the data ready, cleaned and ready. You have to make sure that even at 12, like I said earlier, you have to make sure that if the pipeline is something going wrong, you want to make sure in early morning tomorrow, you don't have excuses. Hey, I was sleeping. I didn't realize that my pipeline was broken. I'm sorry. You cannot say that. You have no excuses to that. So data engineers are in such position that you should be making sure the pipelines are up and running. You're continuously running the data and things on. Yeah, that's it. So I think it's good. Pushpendra, maybe engineering is pulling you. Data engineering. All right. So let's wrap up. We're already 30 minutes far than the planned date, but we were only expecting 15 minutes of the session, but it's good. Thank you so much for the lot of questions, guys. We enjoyed like going through your thought process and helping you at least understand better and maybe decide better the career, right? So it's good. We enjoyed the session. It's like I'm feeling like it's a podcast today, right? So well, I think we should publish this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well then, if there aren't any more questions from any of the students, then I guess we can wrap it up for today.
Sure. All right. Thank you so much, Sam. Maybe we'll be publishing this video in the public. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll let you know.
Yeah.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
It's a very insightful discussion. Many students and many upcoming IT professionals would really enjoy these kind of conversations.
Agreed. All right, take care, guys. We want to see you being a great data and AI leaders in future. Hope to see you
Thank you.
in. Hope to work with you in future together. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All
Thank
right.
you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye bye.